What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome into NYJ Today. In this video, we're going to be breaking down wide receiver Kenny Golladay of the Detroit Lions, who is set to become a free agent next month. Is he a good fit for this team? Does he complement the receivers that we have on this team already? We're going to talk about that and more. Let's get after it. All right, so we're going to just start with looking at Kenny Galladay's career statistics. So the top part of this is we're going to be looking at his snap counts through his career. So as a rookie, he played in about 45% of the snaps in the 11 games that he played and the 5 games that he started. It jumps way up in his second year. It jumps all the way up to 84%, and then his third year, 87%. So he is playing in a large portion of these games. He's coming out probably just to get a breather every once in a while, probably on second downs or first downs, and then he's right back out there for a lot of the third down attempts that this team has. So one thing to note here is that he did get hurt this past year. He had a hip flexor, I believe, that was his injury, and he only played in 5 games, only started in 5 this past year. So we can't really judge his snap percentage in that season, but it's just worth noting that he did get hurt last year and missed a large portion of the season. When we jump to the statistics here, we see somebody that popped his rookie year. He looks really good. He didn't have 1,000 yards or anything like that, but it's super rare for rookie running backs to do that. And then followed it up the next 2 seasons. He was over 1,000 yards receiving. Had 65 receptions in his third year, 70 receptions in his second year. So he was doing really good things. And again, the injury really killed his season. At that point in the year, he'd been 5 games, 338 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging about 67 yards per game, which was a little bit lower than what he was averaging the 2 years prior, but still very productive. And if you watch the tape on him, which we're going to do in a little bit, he is extremely explosive and really excels at going up and grabbing the football. So one thing that I will note as a concern is his catch percentage. So what you're looking at here is the receiving and rushing stats at the bottom. He has never eclipsed greater than 62.5% of the passes thrown his way were caught. That's, as far as I understand, that's not a great number. If we looked at Allen Robinson's numbers, he was converting more of his targets into catches. So you look at in 2019, he received 116 targets, but only converted 65 of them into catches. The year prior, it was about the same thing. 119 targets, only converted about 70 receptions out of those targets. So I don't know if I'm necessarily totally concerned about that, but it's a guy that needs a high number of volumes to be able to make those big plays. And that's kind of the thing here, is that you're expecting that his catch percentage will be a little bit lower than the average receiver, because he is a vertical receiver. He's a go up and get it kind of receiver. So that number will be lower than normal for most wide receivers. All right, I want to make everybody out there feel a little bit better about that catch percentage that I showed in the last clip. So here is a little stat from PFF. This is dating back to 2019. Kenny Golladay ranks 3rd in the NFL with contested catches, converting 36 of those. And he has a great PFF grade here of 83.1 with those contested catches. So again, this is a dude that goes up and grabs the ball when he's got people all over him, when he's got to high point the ball. So just try to remember that when you're looking at the stats. Try to remember that this is not one of those receivers that's going to be ultra efficient in his game. He is a big play receiver. And again, we're going to take a look at that right now with the game tape. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and get into the game tape, my favorite part of all of these videos. So what you're looking at here, it looks like an out route for Kenny Golladay, and number 24 is just draped all over Kenny Golladay. I'm pretty sure that's Byron Jones. And he just is able to make the play, and he does this frequently. He's making contested catches look routine, and that's just his game. So it's very impressive to see him do this on a weekly basis and a game-by-game basis. All right, so on this play, we're going to see Kenny Golladay kind of uses his physicality here to get free in the red zone. He's able to get a touchdown here off of a slant, it looks like, just kind of like a skinny post slant kind of route. And it's impressive. The DB is just really blanketing him. He's got his hands all over him. But Kenny does a really nice job of just kind of using like a rip move to get him off of him and to score the touchdown. Really impressive. And again, we need people that can do this in the red zone. It's critical. Watch my man Kenny on this play. He high points the ball with his long arms, his tall frame. Pretty sure he's 6'4", and makes this DB look really silly. And he actually does a pretty good job after the catch. He's a little bit stiff when he's running after the catch. You can see that the guy is completely on the ground. He's still he just looks a little bit awkward in the open field. But again, great job with this play here, making the catch. And making some moves after the ball is in his hands. So nice job. Gets the team in the red zone. Really nice play. We talked about a low catch percentage for Kenny Golladay. And if this dude can make this catch while being interfered, while one hand catching it, I mean, just imagine if he can get somebody, on the other side, Denzel Mims or Jamison Crowder pulling people to different parts of the field. This is a one-on-one matchup, and he wins in this case. And it's just ridiculous, the showcase of hands and physicality here. He's doing this against Tre'Davious White, so this is a top cornerback, and he's winning on this matchup. Again, the contested catch percentage that we saw earlier, it might not be a true indication of his ability, and maybe it's just a matter of the situation that he's in. That's not to say that Matthew Stafford's not a good quarterback, but maybe just because they were behind in a lot of games, they were just trying to get the ball to him as much as they could, and it led to a lower percentage. So super impressive play here. We could really use another guy who can do this opposite Denzel Mims on the outside. I know the quality is not very good. It's a little grainy, a little pixelated, but watch this ridiculous catch by Kenny Golladay in the red zone. Scores a touchdown here, falling backwards, gets two hands on the football. And again, Matthew Stafford didn't really do an incredible throw here. He just put the ball in play for his receiver to make a play. And Kenny Golladay does this and makes it look easy. He's a really, really exceptional receiver inside the red zone. And if you've heard me talking a lot about on the channel, I keep referring to red zone efficiency. We have to improve in the red zone, and this guy will help us do that. All right, so let's answer the question. Would I go after Kenny Golladay? The answer is maybe, and it depends on a few other factors. So number one, I would target Allen Robinson. We see here on this little graphic that he is probably the number one wide receiver in all of free agency. I don't think anybody's really arguing that. The PFF grade here for Will Fuller, I think, is an inflated one. We have to consider his injury history. He is often injured, and I don't feel comfortable signing Will Fuller and counting on him to be our number one or even like a 2A wide receiver on this team. So my thinking is if we miss out on Kenny Golladay, if we miss out on Joe Thuney, I would go after Kenny Golladay. I think that he does do a lot of the things that Denzel Mims already does, but I don't think it's a bad thing to have two of those types of receivers on your football team. I think having Golladay on one side, Mims on the other, having Jamison Crowder in the slot, and potentially we can get somebody at the running back position and the tight end position. We've now got a pretty formidable offense to throw out there on Sundays. So the answer is yes, I would be interested in Kenny Golladay, only if Allen Robinson is not available and interested in the Jets. I think then we could go after Kenny Golladay pretty heavily, and I would be very excited to bring him onto the team. That's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching NYJ today. If you could all do me a big favor and jet up the like button, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel, especially if you enjoyed the content in this video. We are going to continue to do weekly uploads. We do 2 a week each week, and we also have a live stream every Wednesday. If you could all do me a favor and also get after me in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of Kenny Golladay. Do you want him? Do you want a different receiver? Do you want Allen Robinson and only Allen Robinson? I just want to know what you guys think about this wide receiver class that's coming out in free agency. And you guys always do an exceptional job. I love having something to read during the week after I post these videos. I'm always going to the comments and always responding. So let me know what you think, especially if you're new here. Even if you're not subscribed, I want to hear from you guys. So as always, go Jets. I'll see you guys next.